it's one time, or do you think that we need to have continuously attending that? Do you need to have that?
You see, there are basically 2 or 3 different kinds of training that can take place. One is, of course, an intervention. See, training really is in 3 broad areas. One is in the area of knowledge. Okay, and therefore, knowledge would mean that you need to learn something new about a new subject. So you go and learn about a particular subject. It could be you want to learn about Excel, you want to learn how to use PowerPoint, you want to learn, some new subject completely. The second aspect of training is in the area of skills. You've been promoted or you've just moved up in terms of your job, you now need to learn how to negotiate, so you need negotiation skills, or you need presentation skills, or you need communication skills. That's the second part of training. And the third is the business of attitude. Okay? So you need to now, whatever be the level that you are at, you may be a very young person, you may be a very old person, it doesn't really matter. But you need to keep constantly updating the attitudes that you have for succeeding in life. So you really have all these 3 different kind of buckets. You have the knowledge bucket, the skill bucket, and the attitude bucket. Now what happens when you get into the knowledge bucket is that you need to keep upgrading your knowledge all the time. Okay, skills is something that you need to keep upgrading all the time. Now what happens with knowledge and skills is that you can actually go and attend a 1-day or a 2-day program or a 3-day program or a 3-month program and things like that, and pick up the knowledge that you want, the skills that you want. Now when it comes to attitude training, which is where I focus my energies on, attitude training, behavior training, attitude and the resultant behavior, this is something that you can't learn or you can't imbibe when you go and do a 1-day program, 1.5-day to 2-day program. So you definitely need to have a constant interaction that will take place, because it's very difficult to change people's attitudes, and therefore you need to have a system by which you can get into a process by which you continuously keep evaluating your attitudes and changing them. There's a very famous research in the world that says that the first time you hear something new, your mind always says, I can't do this. The second time you hear the same thing, your mind is still, I can't. The third time it becomes a very weak, maybe I can't. It's only in the 4th time that it becomes maybe I can. And the 5th time it is I can. And the 6th time it goes and becomes an I will do this. So it takes 6 exposures for you to change a pattern of thinking. Okay? And attitude is nothing but a habit of thought. So if you need to change your thinking process, you need to have it over a period of time. And therefore attitude training is something that cannot be done overnight. A lot of people come and say, do you think you can do this within 2 hours? And I say, look, what can you get in 2 hours? You can't even you can't do anything in 2 hours. You need to invest that amount of time. You need to work on it. You need to keep working with a new attitude, a new thought process, and that will take some time before you can get the results that you want.
Sir, Born to Win. How did this inception take place? How do you, and what is your plans for it?
Well, I used to belong to an organization called Roundtable earlier. And in Roundtable in 1988, Roundtable actually identified me as a trainer and said, would you like to become a trainer, and would you like to get into some training? And quite honestly, training was not my cup of tea. I mean, I've been in advertising. I used to be in marketing. So I was a marketing person, an advertising person. And I really don't know why Roundtable actually picked me up as a trainer, Yeah. I don't know why Roundtable picked me up as a trainer. Maybe I was one of the noisiest guys, making a huge racket or something like that. So I've been researching success in leadership now from 1988, in one way or the other. And from 1988, till 2000, going and training people was a weekend passion. It was not something that I would do full time. So on the weekend, somebody would call me and I'd go run a program and come back. It was in 2000, actually it was in the late 90s, that I realized something interesting happening in India. And what was happening in India was the fact that everything was changing. The scale of our operations changed, the capital that we employed changed,